On Christmas, Felix gave me a bouquet of red roses. For his new assistant's birthday, he gave her a diamond necklace worth over 100 grand. I've been hinting about wanting that necklace for a while. When I found out, he said, "Come on, you've got everything." She's had a tough life. All she wants is a nice necklace. I decided I didn't want a husband like that anymore. I stumbled upon a diamond necklace in his shopping cart. Our 7-year anniversary was just around the corner. I was so excited inside. I had mentioned this necklace to Felix before. But on the anniversary, the whole day went by without anything special. All day, and even before bed, Felix didn't act any differently. When he came out of the shower, I couldn't help noticing time had been kind to Felix. His lean waist, abs just hinted under the towel, and a water droplet running down his chest. My husband is seriously handsome. I hinted, "Hey, today's the 31st of January. Felix chuckled while drying his hair. "Yeah, this month's ending fast." I couldn't hold back, remember? We met on this day 7 years ago. Felix came over, looking at me with those deep eyes. The mood was perfect for something more. But then he just patted my head. "Oh right, time flies. It's been 7 years. It's late, gotta work tomorrow, better sleep." His words were like pouring cold water on my happiness. Fine, I'll give him another chance. Christmas is coming. But a few days later, I saw his new colleague wearing that necklace. The diamonds were so bright they blinded me. That day, while running errands, I thought I'd drop by Felix's company during lunch. In the bathroom hallway, I bumped into a girl. I apologized and helped her pick up some papers. But then I froze. The girl seemed new, probably because I hadn't been to Felix's office in a while. But the necklace she wore was the exact one from Felix's cart. It can't just be a coincidence. Felix, at his office door, frowned at the girl. "Why so clumsy?" "Sorry, boss," she stammered. Felix walked over to me, concern in his eyes. "Are you hurt?" "No, I bumped into her." "Let's go to the office. We'll go for lunch afterward." Without a second glance at the girl, he led me to his office. Was I overthinking? Everyone says Felix is a great husband, good-looking, makes money, treats me well. Friends joke I must have saved the whole galaxy in my past life. Colleagues gossiped about Clara, the new girl. Clara replaced Lily, who was on maternity leave. She's just a senior in college, interning for a couple of months. Apparently, Clara's no simpleton. Despite her modest demeanor, have you seen that necklace? Worth tens of thousands. But it must be her rich boyfriend. Saw him once in a flashy car. Candy mentioning Clara having a boyfriend calmed me down a bit. Besides, classic luxury necklaces aren't that rare. I consoled myself, hoping Felix plans to surprise me on Christmas, given how many hints I've dropped. On Christmas, Felix took me to dinner and gave me a huge bouquet of 99 roses. People around were so envious. It was a nice surprise, yet I felt a bit down. Felix had given me a supplementary card before. He would always say just buy what I wanted. He's just a straightforward guy. While dining, his phone kept buzzing. He glanced at it and his face turned serious. "Becky, something came up at work. I need to head out." And just like that, our romantic Christmas dinner ended. Felix dropped me home. The moment I stepped out, before I could say drive safe, he sped off. He returned super late that night. I tossed and turned alone till I drifted off. His job can get that hectic. He came to pick me up on purpose. "Sorry about yesterday, let's have another day out. We'll get your favorite sushi, then shop for bags, whatever you like," Felix said sweetly, just like whenever he tries to make up after a tiff. I looked into his eyes. They seemed as sincere as ever, no different. But once in the car, I sensed a faint perfume, one I'd recognized on Clara. Doubts I'd pushed away started resurfacing. I shouldn't be doubting him. We've shared so much over the years. But I couldn't sleep. Eventually, I took his phone to the bathroom while he slept. I know snooping isn't right, but it's like a thorn poking at me. I was nervous, soon everything would be clear. With shaky hands, I opened his phone. That necklace wasn't in his shopping cart anymore. A wave of relief hit me when it wasn't in his order history either. Searching further, there were no hidden accounts. Clara's contact was there, plainly visible. Their chats were ordinary like co-workers. Until I opened Clara's social media timeline. On Christmas, she posted a photo, a blurry silhouette. Silently being there is its own joy. Before that, there was Clara's selfie with the necklace. She was all smiles like a blooming flower in the picture. The caption was just a simple sentence. "Thank you for helping me realize I deserve better," followed by a heart emoji. Everything seemed to line up. I pulled out my phone. I had added Clara that day. Opened her moments, but it was all blank. Remembering something, I opened Felix's Alipay. Seeing that payment record, it felt like my blood froze. Felix was my first love, my college professor's son. Back in university, Wendy, who taught me calculus, was really nice. She'd often invite me and a few classmates over for meals. Once, we went to her place, and Wendy, busy with a few classmates in the kitchen, suddenly asked me to grab something from her room. I was startled when I opened the door to see a guy lying on the bed. Turns out, it was her son Felix, who was taking a rest in Wendy's room. He'd finished his postgrad in Hong Kong and worked there for a year. He just got back to the city this year, planning to settle here. Felix later joked with me, saying, "Look at this. My mom treats you students better than her own son." I wasn't home, and she turned my room into a study for you guys to use. Hearing that, I felt a bit guilty. But Wendy told him, "You've been gone for years, and leaving the room empty is a waste. Besides, you already rented a place outside, so why keep your room?" During that time, I participated in a math competition and started visiting Wendy's place more often. I often saw Felix, and each time after meals, Wendy would have him walk me back. After a while, I felt a tad embarrassed. "Senior, it's too much trouble for you. I can go back on my own." The faculty housing wasn't too far from the student dorms, and being on campus, it was pretty safe. "You fool, can't you tell I'm into you?" I was stunned. I did have a vague feeling that Felix treated me a bit differently from other students. It seemed like he took a bit more interest in me. Sometimes, when I got stuck on problems, he'd join the discussion and offer some ideas. During meals, he knew exactly what I liked, and would place those dishes in front of me. These were just my own guesses. But as time went by, it didn't seem particularly different. I hadn't been in a relationship before, so I quickly brushed these thoughts aside. "So Becky, can I officially announce that I have the honor of being your partner?" That's how we ended up together. After getting with Felix, I was pleasantly surprised by how many shared interests we had, and we could chat endlessly every day. I'm the only child, and my family runs a small business. We have a harmonious family, and my parents spoil me. Felix lost his dad in an accident when he was young, but Wendy is open-minded and kind, and she raised Felix well. We were a good match and had a lot in common. Our relationship moved smoothly from dating to marriage without much hitch. When our families discussed the engagement, both sets of parents were so open-minded that it was settled over one meal. Everything was just so easy. Felix is 4 years older than me, and he's always indulged me, so I've always been a little spoiled. During meals, he'd always peel the crab for me, and I'd just focus on eating. My mom teased, "This girl will never grow up. Look how spoiled she's become with you." Wendy chuckled, "Becky's my proudest student, such a good and sensible girl. Thanks to her parents for raising her so well. Felix, if you ever treat her badly, I'll be the first to hold you accountable." Felix took my hand and said sincerely, "Don't worry, I'll never let her suffer." It feels like just yesterday when Felix sincerely vowed to cherish me forever. Christmas pricey gifts, the perfume in the car. From a probabilistic point of view, Felix might have had a change of heart. It felt so bitter inside, my eyes were burning, ready to cry. But I'm someone who won't tolerate deceit. If he really fell for someone else, I'd rather not have a tainted love. I wanted to be upfront with Felix and talk about it. When I went to his company that day, the outside office was quiet, because it was lunch break. I headed straight to Felix's office, its door half open. Even though I was prepared, what I saw left me feeling both furious and embarrassed. There were a few takeout boxes spread on the desk, and Felix and Clara were sitting close beside each other, almost touching. Clara fed Felix a spoonful, and he naturally opened his mouth. Then they smiled at each other. The atmosphere was intimate and suggestive. "Am I interrupting you?" I spoke up. They both looked up, and I saw the fear and panic in Felix's eyes. He quickly regained his composure and said with a smile, "Why are you here? Have you eaten?" Wanna join us? If I hadn't come, how could I have witnessed such a delightful scene? Maybe my tone was too sarcastic as Felix frowned. He turned to Clara, who was standing behind him, and said gently, "Please step out for a minute." What more is there to say? I angrily pushed away Felix's hand. It's not what it looks like, Becky. Let me explain. I was busy and couldn't eat, so Clara, my assistant, was helping me out while I reviewed the report. After a pause, he added, "I know it looks wrong, no sense of boundaries, and I'll be more mindful. Or I can even transfer her and get a new assistant. Do you still take me for a fool?" I stared coldly at Felix. On Christmas, you couldn't wait to rush off to see her, right? Felix rubbed his forehead. It was just work that day. Things ran late, and I felt it wasn't safe for a young girl like her to head home alone. So I just dropped her off. What about those flirty posts on her moments, only visible to you? The necklace you bought, how'd it end up on her? Don't tell me you guys are just pure colleagues. I threw his Alipay screenshot at him. Felix knitted his brows. You've been checking my phone? Then he sighed in resignation. She hadn't been around long before she helped close a big deal. That necklace was my reward for her. I accidentally saw her admiring it and just blurted out that I would give it to her. I got even angrier. I liked that necklace too. So, she means more to you than I do, Felix? Stop making up excuses for changing your heart. Come on, Becky, you have everything. She comes from a poor background and just wanted a brand name necklace, which happened to be the last one. If you want it, I'll get you another one. I want a divorce. Let's go right away. I was trembling with rage, my voice choked with emotion. Besides what you just saw, there really is nothing going on between us. I didn't cheat. Clara comes from a disadvantaged background. She was the only college graduate from a remote village. I admire her vitality. I felt suffocated. Felix had once said he liked my independence and smart ambition. Now he was using those words on another girl. But we really have nothing going on. It's my fault. I apologize, Becky. I'm sorry. I couldn't believe Felix had the guts to say something so shameless. I laughed out of anger. When I walked in, Felix instinctively shielded her, standing protectively. As she walked out, he kept looking at her with concern until she passed by me. Then he looked at me all nervous. Were you afraid I'd hurt her? We've been together for years, Felix. I know what you're like when you like someone. So emotional cheating isn't cheating? Do I have to catch you in bed for it to count, Felix? How low do you want to drag my dignity? Felix finally panicked and hugged me tightly, tears streaming down my face. No, it's not like that. Maybe I just pity her a little. But I love you and I'll fire her. It'll be just us, okay? I broke free and slapped him. Felix, you jerk. I don't remember how I got home that day. Like a zombie, I got into bed. Felix followed me, afraid I'd do something drastic. I lay in bed all day without eating or drinking. I didn't touch the meal Felix left by the door. The next day, I opened the door. Felix jumped up from the couch. He hadn't slept, and he looked worn out, his lips pale. Please, Becky, eat something. I made your favorite oyster and shrimp porridge. It's killing me to see you like this. Yell at me if you need to, just please. I sat at the table and drank a bowl of porridge. I looked up, seeing the hopeful look in Felix's eyes. I don't want anything. I just want a divorce. When are we doing it? Let's get it done soon. I'll stay with my parents for now. The light in Felix's eyes dimmed little by little. He said, stay with them for a few days. And when you want to come back, I'll come get you. I'm serious. Felix hesitated at the door, then quickly left. I told both our parents about the divorce. My dad was furious and wanted to confront Felix, but my mom stopped him. We're getting this divorce. My mother-in-law sighed. Oh, that foolish boy. But Becky, are you sure you won't give him another chance? I shook my head. I'm definitely getting a divorce. I moved back with my parents. Felix kept apologizing, bringing flowers and gifts, showering me with expensive bags and jewelry like they were free. On rainy days, he'd wait for me outside soaked. I avoided him. He called and texted, but I only replied once. I'm only talking about divorce. We couldn't drag it on. Every divorce agreement I sent disappeared into the void. When I went to arrange the divorce, he avoided me. He even enlisted friends and family to plead his case. Everyone knows Felix dotes on me, so they all thought enough is enough. Even my mom said, maybe give him another chance. As things hit a deadlock, I got a call. Candy hesitantly asked Becky, haven't seen you at the office lately. What's up with you and Felix? Candy is a long-time employee at Felix's company. I worked there briefly after grad school. We're around the same age with lots in common. I once helped her with something. She hesitated. I wanted to tell you something. Felix informed HR to let Clara go. When she went to him, he wouldn't see her. Finally, Clara left red-eyed and upset. As the office whispered about Clara's sudden firing, a client walked in. There was an accident downstairs. A car hit a girl. She wasn't watching the light. Scary stuff. Is your boss here? Felix turned pale and rushed downstairs. I watched a video on my tablet, barely hearing Candy. In the video, Felix rushed to the scene and pushed through the crowd. Felix, are you looking for me? Felix turned and saw Clara nearby. I'm fine. Someone just bumped me, and I dropped my things, Clara said, picking up her scattered belongings. Felix impatiently said, you can be clumsy at other times, but how can you walk without watching where you're going? Clara looked stubborn with tears in her eyes, almost about to fall. Mind your business. You already fired me, remember? You have no obligation to interfere in a former employee's life. As she spoke, she stumbled, as if she'd been hurt from being pushed earlier. Where did you fall? Let me see. Felix moved forward, worried. I sprained my ankle. Don't move. I'll take you to the hospital, Felix said, picking Clara up in a princess carry. Comments flooded. Wow, a handsome guy and a pretty girl. Is this a drama? Dear Lord, please send me a charming, rich CEO too. So sweet. I believe in love again. Woke up and suddenly I'm crying a river. What am I waiting for? I was in a daze and missed a step going downstairs. I felt a warm flow below, and a sharp pain in my belly. I touched my belly. Ever since knowing of his presence in my belly, I hesitated about whether to give Felix another chance. How could I just let go of so many years of feelings? 7 years, this love was in my bones and blood. Tearing it out was like cutting flesh. I was so scared and in a hazy state, instinctively dialed Felix's number. Each second of waiting felt like an eternity. Finally, the call got disconnected. I dialed again. Felix, answer the phone. I'm so scared. Our baby. Disconnected again. And again until I passed out. Felix, we have no future. I think I dreamed a lot. In the dream, I became obsessive, hysterical. I argued with Felix. Not sure what round this was. We hurled the most toxic words at each other. Broke everything we could. Felix, if you dare walk out that door, I'll do something drastic. Becky, doesn't this line get old with you? How many times now? Felix stared coldly at me and slammed the door on his way out. In an instant, the cold, disdainful Felix turned back into the young Felix. He suddenly pulled out a bracelet from behind his back. I saw this while walking past a shop in Italy and thought you'd like it. Felix spent all his money buying that bracelet. It's beautiful. Must have been expensive? Don't spend on me like that again. My Becky deserves the best things in the world. We'd argue, but he'd always come to comfort me the next day. Girls who are angry risk harming their health. I can't bear to let you be angry before bed. I promise to make you happy always. If you're unhappy, it's my fault. The scene shifted. Seemed like we were watching the aurora. We'll always be together, we wished under the aurora. We thought it'd last forever. Yet our forever only lasted 7 years. By the time my parents reached the hospital, the doctor said, the patient had a fall and shows signs of a threatened miscarriage. My mother anxiously asked, is there any treatment? Please save the child no matter what. The doctor sighed, we'll try our best. Let's admit her for observation first. Thank you, doctor. Please save the child. No need. Everyone froze. I said no, I don't want to keep the child, I said word for word. A tear slid down my cheek. When Felix arrived at the hospital, the abortion was already done. He tried to come in again and again, but my parents kept pushing him out. 3 days later, I felt a little better. Felix had been outside the door the whole time. Mom, let him in. Some things need to be clarified. Becky, how are you? Feeling better? Just focus on recovering. We can have kids again later. Felix's voice was hoarse and trembling. He extended a hand but didn't dare touch me. Do we even have a future? Where were you when I called you? In an instant, Felix's face turned pale, losing all his calm composure. A week ago, when I found out I was pregnant with your kid, I thought about giving you another chance. This world is full of temptations, and you didn't actually do anything wrong. But he's gone now, and so is any reason for us to be connected. Becky, I didn't know. It wasn't on purpose. I know saying anything doesn't help. I'm sorry. Felix slapped himself hard. A grown man crying ugly tears. I'd rather it had been me who got hurt. Well then go die. Felix was shocked, looking up at me. Does this pain you feel compare to the pain in my heart? Felix stared at me, saw the determination and the absence of hope in my eyes. His eyes reddened. He asked mournfully, "Are you really going to divorce me?" "Fine, I accept it. I know it's my fault. I'll let you go hoping it'll make you happier, but I won't stop trying." Felix left. I finally broke down crying. My mom hugged and comforted me. "Don't be afraid. It'll all be over soon." Candy came to see me and sighed at the end. I didn't expect Felix to be like that. I don't believe in love anymore. Candy had dated someone who cheated and scammed her out of money. I ended up getting her money back after dealing with the jerk. The nurse wanted me to get checked, and Candy volunteered to come with me. "Hey, isn't that someone's boyfriend?" Candy walked over while I wondered who she recognized. "Hey you, can't you control your girlfriend?" Candy said, tapping a guy on the shoulder. The guy turned around. I recognized him. I'd seen him at a bar when I was drowning in my sorrows. What can make someone forget pain in this world? I was almost drugged. A cool guy in a leather jacket saved me, chasing off the sleazeball trying to spike my drink. "Don't drink anything outside your sight. First time here? Want to share a drink?" I was tipsy and dull, still shook my head on instinct. The leather jacket guy gave a small smile. "It's all right. Go home early. This place isn't for you." After leaving the bar, I bumped into him at the door again. He offered to drive me home. Fueled by liquid courage, or perhaps a thirst for revenge, I just got into his car without a second thought. Just went with it, you know? In the end, I got home safely. When I sobered up, I felt a bit scared, but thankfully nothing happened. Why punish myself for someone else's mistakes? I drank too much and felt like my head was gonna explode. It turned out he was Clara's boyfriend. "Hey, can't you keep your girl in check? Stop her from biting off more than she can chew and eyeing married men. Seriously, you seem pretty charming. Why can't you manage your own girlfriend?" I was lost in thought, and Candy almost stirred up some drama. "Who are you calling my girlfriend? You're being ridiculous. I'm single, and my name is Nathan, not Hay." Candy put her hands on her hips. "Isn't Clara your girlfriend? Too scared to admit it? Didn't you drop her off for work before?" "Clara." Nathan thought for a moment. "Oh, her. She's the granddaughter of my grandpa's childhood friend from the countryside. Her grandpa brought her to our place, and the old man asked me to give her a ride." Nathan clarified, "Clara and I have no connection. She's not my type." Damn, Clara is so pretentious. No wonder she was all dodgy when we pressed her before. She was bluffing. After getting out of the hospital, Felix and I sorted out the divorce papers. We had no disputes over assets. Felix felt guilty and gave me most of the property, including 15% of his company stocks. I quickly sold those shares to Felix's competitor, and then Clara showed up. "Felix treated you so well. How could you betray him like that?" Felix knew what he was doing when he gave me those shares, but I'm not going to miss out on money. I laughed sarcastically. "This is between me and him. What gives you the right to interfere?" Felix has been so stressed over this. "You don't even know," Clara said self-righteously. "If there's been a misunderstanding because of Felix and me, I can explain." I couldn't tell if Clara was trying to make a good impression on Felix, or planning to justify herself when they eventually got together. Building this pure, strong role model image. "You said I misunderstood. What's there to misunderstand? Which female employee would call their boss on Christmas night, saying they're scared to be alone at the office, or feed him? We're both well educated. Why do they know how to interact with the opposite sex properly, and you don't? Clara, don't try to have it both ways." At first, I thought Felix and I had issues mainly because of him, his indecisiveness and infidelity. Now I realize you two are a perfect match. Really, I wish you both the best. Fine, the money is mine, the guy is yours. But people should know their place. Go after what you want, Don't expect something for nothing. Do you really think Felix will love you? Also, tell Felix to stop bothering me. It's annoying. I stood up to leave. Clara's calm mask dropped when she realized my words were dripping with sarcasm. You're so malicious. Losing your baby was karma. I saw him hesitating to answer your call when he was taking me to the hospital. I acted like I was in pain, and he ignored your call. So who's more important to him? I've been doing well lately, moving on. But ripping off the Band-Aid hurt, really hurt. I spun around and slapped her. Didn't you call me malicious? So stay out of my face and don't piss me off. Clara clutched her face, teary-eyed. I didn't. An expert at switching faces, it was Felix approaching. Felix walked over quickly. Clara, covering her face, looked wounded. Felix, I just wanted to explain things to Becky. We're clean, but... Felix ignored her and faced me nervously. Becky, can we talk? I knew Clara called Felix over. She wanted to use my spite to highlight her innocence. Well, mission accomplished. Felix, keep an eye on her. As long as she leaves me alone, I won't bother her. I'm leaving, feel free to chat. That's not what I meant. I didn't know she'd come find you. Felix sighed. Becky, feeling better? If not, I'll give you the company. Felix, that's your life's work. Clara exclaimed anxiously. Felix turned to Clara. Clara, I apologize on Becky's behalf, but this is our family matter. Past or future, the only person I love is Becky. I didn't expect someone to have their face slapped this quickly. But Felix, you let me get close. You like me. If not, why buy me that expensive necklace? Why take me for a Christmas drive? Why be worried when I got hurt? Clara looked pained. If anything gave you the wrong impression, I'm sorry. Felix seemed regretful. A chuckle escaped someone nearby. Sorry, I was just discussing something here, Nathan said, walking over. Clara, didn't you text me about your shower head being broken? Sorry, I missed it. Everything fixed? If not, I can drop by and help. Seeing Nathan, Clara felt a little awkward. Why's your face so red? I saw that picture you sent me yesterday. You were wearing so little, and you got drenched. Did you catch a cold? Nathan looked genuinely concerned. Clara's face flashed from red to pale. Felix was shocked. Look, this was his idea of the pure, kind, strong, and independent girl. Later, a friend called me in the evening. Hey, Felix has had too much to drink. He keeps asking for you and won't listen to anyone. Could you come and see him? Don't call me that anymore. Felix and I are divorced. His issues are not my concern now. Becky, we all know how good Felix was to you. For years, he poured his heart and soul into your relationship. He would do anything for you. He worked so hard for your sake. Yes, he was wrong. But how can you be so ruthless when he's like this? I knew everyone saw Felix's sacrifices. They saw him working hard while I enjoyed an easy life. But they forgot that in the early days of his business, I led a team to build the company's data system day and night. I kept up with all the maintenance and improvements thereafter. I loved math. I wanted to dive deeper into that field. But after we got married, I chose an easier job. I wanted him to come home to a warm meal and the light on late at night, waiting for his return. Any stable relationship is not just about one person giving everything. Wendy was in the hospital. I went to visit her. Felix was there too. It had been a while since I'd seen him. He looked thinner and even a bit defeated. After a moment in my head, I called her like I used to. Professor, feeling any better? Oh, it's the usual. Thank you for coming. It's all because of Felix's foolishness, Wendy sighed. When Felix and I were going through the divorce, Wendy tried to mediate. After my miscarriage, she had slapped Felix immediately. But no matter what, she would always be Felix's mom, which inevitably strained our relationship. Let's not talk about that. You're always my teacher. Take care of yourself. The air was heavy. Since the divorce, things just got awkward between Felix and me. After chatting with Wendy for a bit, I left. Felix was leaning by the door. I'll walk you out. We walked silently together. Many years ago, it was just like this. He would walk me to my dorm. We'd say a few words sometimes, but mostly we were silent. Still, back then, I was always excited. I looked down at our shadows, one long, one short, always together. I flagged down a cab. Let me take you. Felix, I said seriously, let's end it here. Lately I can't sleep at night. Every time I close my eyes, all our memories rush back. I don't know what's wrong with me. How could I be so foolish? Without you, the house feels so cold. It's only when you're there that I feel at ease. How did I lose you? Felix kept his voice controlled, but the rubbing of his fingers on his pants showed his unease. He's been having a rough time. Some nights, I can see a lonely shadow stretched long by the dim streetlights below. Sometimes I get strange calls. Felix is probably drunk, murmuring, "I miss you. I'm struggling, come get me." I hang up, but it disturbs my sleep. I take out a bottle of wine from the fridge. I'm too scared to hit the bars, so I've been stocking up on wine lately. I've learned to tell the difference between French Beaujolais and Southern Italian red wines. I'm not doing that well either. Our 7 years together. The memories torment my heart. Felix gave me a dream of true love, and then shattered it himself. I'm fine, he's not worth it. But hey, what's the harm in a little drunkenness? Tomorrow the sun will rise. A new day will come. Becky, I regret it so much. I never liked anyone else. Felix. I interrupted him. No, you were tempted. You're just feeling guilty now. I told you when we got married. If you fell for someone else, I'd leave without a doubt. If we keep going, this will never pass. Every little issue in our marriage will blow up. I'll always dwell on your betrayal. You'll resent my aggressiveness. Can we really be happy like this? Let's leave it at that. Don't make me hate you. 3 months later, my previous application went through. I went abroad to continue my PhD studies. Exploring more into mathematics had always been my dream. A project I led was picked up by a domestic tech firm, and after graduation, I joined C-High Group. My boss is Jason, a polite, refined man. He's more like a scholar than a businessman. I don't run into Jason often, usually only at meetings or presentations. We don't talk much in the office, but gossip sometimes gets around. Felix is still single, huh? What kind of woman can snag a catch like him? I heard he was married. Yeah, Felix has been divorced for years. Does he miss his ex-wife? What's the story there? Our colleagues speculated. We've all got our tales, don't we? One night after a long shift, it was raining hard when I left. I stood by the door, feeling a bit lost. A car pulled up in front of me, and the door opened. Becky, let me give you a ride. I was about to decline. I'm heading to Jinxiao too. Conveniently on the way, Jason said in a warm, yet not pushy manner. It was hard to find a good reason to refuse. Later on I married Jason. I feel like we're more like business partners. Sometimes we talk about our past failed marriages and analyze the pros and cons. Together, we worked hand in hand, and 2 years later, our company went public in the US. We rang the bell on NASDAQ. After getting married, I had a daughter. When she was about 4, I went back to Shanghai to visit family. Over the years, I kept in touch with Candy. She ended up with Nathan, and they turned into a pair of happy bickering partners. She told me that Felix's company was going bankrupt. Before that, many companies wanted to collaborate with me on my research projects, including Felix's tech company, but I chose other companies. Felix's company was kind of a rival. When he couldn't partner with me, he spent a lot more money to buy another research outcome. Then he signed a tough equity swap agreement with a venture capital company, trying to be the first to conquer the market. At that time, Jason and I just got married. I didn't know what Felix was trying to prove, but my opinion of him was just that he was impulsive, aggressive, and crazy. In the end, he lost. One day, I took my little one out to play, and suddenly she went missing. Panicked, I cried and called Jason. Just then, my daughter returned. I saw balloons over there and went after them. I'm sorry, Mom. A man brought me back, she said, pointing not far away. Huh, where did that man go? He was really nice. He even bought me ice cream. Sweetie, didn't Mom tell you not to eat things from strangers? Yes, Mom. But that man looked nice, not like a bad guy. He talked and played with me. I asked him if he had a daughter too. The man smiled and said if she were still here, she'd be as cute as you. What did he mean by that, Mom? I didn't get it. Seeing me upset, my little girl hugged me with her pudgy hands. Mommy, I promise I won't talk to strangers again. I looked into the distance and thought I saw a familiar figure. Shaking my head, I realized it was a long time ago, and my memory was fading. Just as I was about to head home, Jason came running over and hugged us tightly. Aren't you on a business trip? Jason was supposed to go for a very important project, our main focus for the second half of the year. You know, when Daddy heard you were missing, he rushed back halfway. I won't do it again. I love you, Mommy, and I love Daddy too. Mommy loves you too. We love you all, Jason said with a smile, looking back at us. I held my daughter tightly, feeling happier than ever. We are one happy family. The end.